Hello everyone, the other player back, and today I'm giving you guys a quick tutorial on how to do train better in Warzone. I think a lot of people know about the train strat, and if you don't, I'm going to go over it very quickly, but either way, if this is a very good strat for kind of just finding out where the final circle is, setting up really early, and then just being able to hide out for a bit. Granted, it's not the most kill high strategy, but for those of you who are really trying to rack up your wins, this can really help with that. So I'm going to be going over this map right here because this is how we do train. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to go over it now. The train has a recon that spawns on it, one of those little flags, and what you can do is every time you grab it, it'll spawn on one of the train carts. And when you do that, you're going to be able to continuously get circle peaks over and over until you get to the final circle, or at least kind of close to it. You'll be set up and you'll be able to kind of hold out anyone that already tries to go there. So let's say, for example, here's the train, by the way. I've highlighted it in red. And let's say this is something like your circle. I know this isn't very accurate, but for just kind of sake of this is what we're going to pretend it is. You can see that oftentimes a lot of the train, or at least parts of it, will be cut off. So let's say the train is, for example, right here by hospital. This is a pretty good spot. We know that because of how the train moves, that it's going to be able to get back into the circle, and we're going to be able to continue doing recons by the time that the circle starts closing in. Now, another good thing about this spot is in a relatively non-populated area. It's going through a lot of barren land up and through here. This area right here is usually pretty good. You won't get shot at for most of this yellow portion right here. These towns up at the very top, right here, they tend to like to shoot at the train if they're there, but the people don't land here too often. And if they do, they're pretty easy to hold out because they're going to be in the open. Or if not, you can just hide on this side of the train. This is going to be your left when you're going around it. And then they won't be able to shoot you. Just make sure you play the angles right because the train's going to be moving. Now, let's say the train spawned right, let's say here. This would be a bad spot. The reason this is a bad spot is not only because it's not going to make it around the circle in time, but because what's going to happen is you're going to jump on the train, and let's say you even make it off the train, because that doesn't always happen. Like you're on the train, you're doing your recons, you're coming up here, and then you start getting shot at. This portion right here is the most dangerous spot that we've found. It's not only extremely open from both downtown and hospital, but hospital and Promenade East, they have very good sightlines on you from up top, so you really have to take cover and try to find the best way to be. Now, because of this valley that's on this side, I'll highlight it in yellow, people don't like crossing this, and people are usually preoccupied in downtown. So if you stay on this side, you'll usually be pretty good, I've found. People don't usually like to, unless people are pushing in from downtown, by the time you get here, then it's not good, but people don't usually challenge from this side. They'll challenge from this side though, especially from hospital roof, so be careful. So, what would the ideal train spot be in this situation? Probably right here, because then you'll know you'll be in circle and you'll get a pretty low-lying area. You usually don't get challenged here, but if you do, you can hold it out. Another good spot would be right here. This would be a good spot just because of the fact that while Storage Town usually won't challenge you, Boneyard sometimes does, but it's very easy to hold out Boneyard. This is because right here and right here, there tend to be walls. Granted, they're broken in a lot of spots, but it gives you a lot of cover. These buildings right here, people like to shoot from here down onto the train, so you need to be watching right here and any holes. People sometimes like to shoot from over here. It's pretty rare though, and they'll have to get pretty far distances on you, so it's pretty easy to take cover behind something and shoot back at them. You do have to watch people coming in from bunker, but usually they're pretty easy pickings and you can see them out in the open pretty fast. So Boneyard is pretty dangerous, but it's pretty easy to hold. As long as you're not getting like 3 teams on you at the same time, you'll be fine. Something I forgot to mention before, buy stations are very crucial to when you're doing train because the only way you're going to be able to get your stuff is usually through getting to a buy station, buying that. You get all your stuff in one fell swoop, you don't get it as you travel. So you're going to have to plan a spot to get off. Usually what my team like to do is we usually will get out around Boneyard or maybe this hills area right here. There's usually a few buy stations like here, here, maybe here, where it's just really out in the open, but no one ever goes there, so we're usually pretty safe from it. Places I would not recommend going, this entire area is really, really like pressing. They will notice you instantly on the buy station. Also, if you're traveling through this area right here, it's really risky going to a buy because you usually have to head across this valley, which is very risky. If you want, it's best to wait till you get like to one of these up here. There'll sometimes be one over here. But if you have to, either push to TV or push to one of these areas over here. This is really not recommended, but if you have to, you can do it. I will note there are a couple things. So for one, right here, and I think there's another place somewhere. I think right over here. There are spots where the train will pass under a bridge. You will get instantly downed if you go over them, so pay attention to when your train's going under a bridge. Thank you all for watching. I hope you appreciated this quick tutorial on some tips and tricks for train. If you want to see a full gameplay of how where I go through everything about all the strats that I do, you can go check out the video that is after this where I go through an entire game including endgame. Alright, thank you all for watching. See ya.